Let us bring in constitutional attorney and former member of President Trump's transition team, Mark Smith. Mark, great to have you on the program. Look, we all want to know the timeline on this. There's a craving to figure out what the heck is going on here. So walk us through what you think happens in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Well, there's no way to know for sure, of course, because grand jury proceedings are secret. We know they're ongoing. At some point, of course, the grand jury has to wrap up its business. The way that works, Todd, is that the prosecutor asks the grand jury to vote on an indictment. As to when that occurs, that's entirely within the discretion of the prosecutor. But one thing to keep in mind, we're talking about a civil settlement payment that apparently was made in October of 2016. That's a whole lot of years ago. So one wonders at what point is the prosecutor going to start to worry about having statute of limitations concerned and need to rush things along to a finale. That assumes, of course, that they seek to indict President Trump, which although there's a lot of news reports about it, it still hasn't occurred. And until it occurs, well, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And I mean, as you said, there's no evidence that he's going to be arrested. He said he's going to be arrested tomorrow. But what happens if he is arrested? What message does that send?
Well, it's really a shocking message. Right now, there are over 3,000 counties in the United States. And I bring that up because the Manhattan District Attorney is a single elected official in a single one of those 3,000 counties in the United States. So to create a precedent where a single state county elected official has effectively the veto power over who could become the next president of the United States for the entire country is kind of shocking, especially when the sorts of crimes that we appear to be investigating here from all reports seem to be, shall we say, ticky-tack kind of things that in most instances might give rise to a civil dispute between a person and like the IRS or maybe the Federal Election Commission, but certainly rising to the level of an actual crime where someone would be arrested and possibly have to go to jail seems quite shocking based on all this stuff, especially since it looks like, you know, Donald Trump is the most investigated person probably in the history of the United States. He has been for many years, and now we have a single county official trying potentially to indict him. It seems kind of a shocking situation as far as I'm concerned.
Mark, some are saying the timing of all this is pretty suspicious, considering the timing of Republicans' investigation into the Biden family business. We just learned some Biden family members made over $1 million total from a Chinese wire. Miranda Devine writing in a New York Post op-ed the following, quote, "For the Democrat spin machine, it was a time for a Trump scandal. Always their tactic in a break glass in case of emergency moment like this. Guaranteed to distract media attention and keep voters in the dark about the real scandal swirling around Biden." Your thoughts on that take?
Well, certainly, I think one of the biggest stories we've learned from the Trump era is to the great extent that the media, the legacy media, is really works with the Democrats on messaging. And I think that the big story out of all these issues with the Bidens is not necessarily that someone's done something right or wrong. It's the fact that it appears to have been kept hidden from the American public during that run-up to the 2020 presidential election. Now, whether or not someone did anything right or wrong or good or bad, that's besides the point. It really is something, the sort of thing that Americans might have wanted to know about before they went to the polls to elect their president in 2020. And I think that's kind of the big story about all this, is why are we learning about this now, almost, you know, over 2 years in to the Joe Biden presidency?
Joe Biden says this is all not true. The documents unearthed by James Comer would say otherwise. Mark Smith, thank you very much for all your insight on both of those topics.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.